All right, so in this module, we're going to basically go over setting up your views for your Facebook ads. So we're in our ads manager already. As you see, we got the ads manager up and running, and there's a lot of buttons here. But the main point that we want to get started with is the views, like the columns. Like, what columns are we looking at? How do we see what is going on, right? Like, I want to know what metrics are most important. I don't want to see all the other things that we don't really care about. So I'm going to teach you how to set up the views right now for Facebook ads. So we're going to click over the columns over here, where it says columns right here, this drop down. You're going to click the drop down, and we're going to click customize columns, right? So we're going to click customize columns, and then it's going to bring you to this little box. It's going to show you exactly what you can choose, like what metrics. There's so many different metrics that we could add to our view list that we want to see in our columns, right? So I'm going to go ahead and run through the list real quick. Just make sure you have all of these on your view, and then we're going to save it as a preset so we can continue to use this view for the future. You might have to, when you load up your ads manager every time, to go to this view, because it won't be like a thing you could automatically set. But the view system is really interesting. You could actually create your own custom metric even if you wanted to, but for now we're going to just go through everything that I already have for you set up. So we're going to go and tell you which ones to get. So as you see here, you might already have a bunch checked from the default. So if you don't see any of those default ones there, you can go ahead and click the X on it over here on the right to get rid of it on your list. So to start out, I always have the campaign name. I don't think you can adjust that. That's like that's automatic. And then we have errors. So I want to have errors there in the front so I can see if the ad is not running anymore, or if the ad stops running for any reason, or Facebook decides to review the ad and it's not running properly. I want to know all the errors that are going on with our ads, right? So errors, the delivery of the ad. So delivery is like, if the ad is actually being delivered, like is it constantly going right now? Is it active? Is it paused? Is it stopped? Is it, so the delivery is important to know if the ad is active or not. It'll just have a green button. It'll say active next to it. That's the delivery. And then ad set name, also very important, so we can know what ad sets are where. The bid strategy is also important to tell whether or not we're using ad set budget optimization or if we're using campaign budget optimization. So, you have the CBO or the ABO is basically also the bid strategy is going to be like if you're going for the lowest cost possible, or if you're going for like a targeted ROAS, or if you're going for a targeted cost per acquisition, whatever it is you're doing. So the bid strategy will let you know what that ad set is doing more or less. And then the budget, obviously, it's pretty self-explanatory. How much are you spending on that either ad set or campaign, or whatever the budget is. Then reach is like how many people are we reaching with each ad, or with each ad set. Even campaigns. Remember, these are all things viewable from any level, but we want to know how many people we're reaching. So this is really important as well. Cost per result, that's a really important one. Cost per result, we want to know how expensive it is to get a purchase, or whatever your conversion goal is. Most of ours are all going to be purchases, but we want to know how expensive each purchase is. We want to know what ad sets are costing us the most money to bring in sales. So that's a good metric. Amount spent is also a good metric to keep track of how much each ad set spends, so we can know if this ad set has already spent like $100 and it's only brought in 2 sales. We know how much it spent and it's not profitable or whatever, we can cut it. So that's important. Link clicks, cost per click. These are very important also. We want to know how many people are clicking through each ad. We want to know what's the cost of all these people clicking to the ad. So how much is each click costing us? These are important metrics to just make sure we're keeping our ads healthy. And then CTR, click-through rate. So that's what that stands for. CTR stands for click-through rate, and that's basically the percentage of people that view your ad and actually click through into the website or anywhere on the video itself, or so that's important to know how people are engaging with our advertising. If they're just watching it and keep scrolling, or if they're watching it and they click and they actually go to the website and see it move around. So you can see how well each audience is going to react to the videos. If they're reacting like they like it and they want to click it, and they the percentage will be higher. If they don't like it and they don't click it, your percentage will be lower, and you'll know whether or not if your creative is the problem here, or if it's your targeting or anything like that. So click-through rate, very important that you choose the one that says all also. And again, you can find them here on this list. If you scroll down here in the middle and you click the check mark on any one that you want, it'll add it to your list here on the right side. And then you can go ahead and grab these little buttons here and you can shift these around to organize, whatever it is you want in what order. So that's the basics of adding everything onto that. And then you have, CPMs is the cost per 1,000 impressions. So Facebook charges you off of a CPM model where it's like per 1,000 people, this is how much it will cost for this audience. And this is how much basically we're charging you to view, this amount of people in this audience. Like that's basically how much it's costing you to show this to per 1,000 people. So you'll know more or less if your audience is like, if your targeting is right on with the CPMs. If your CPMs are, $30 plus or $20 plus, you're probably in a competitive, market. So you want to do better with your ads to bring that down. Ads to cart is also an important one. We want to know who's adding to cart from what ad set, from what audience. We want to know how many people added things to the cart based on how many people viewed the ad, or how much money we spent on that ad, and how many people did, actually add things to their cart, or how, these are all metrics we want to keep in mind as we move forward. And then purchases. So purchases, very important. This kind of ties into cost per result as well. So we'll know how many purchases we got from each ad set, from each audience, even from each ad. We'll be able to tell all these metrics. So it's important to tell how many purchases you're getting in general. And then we also have the purchase value. So I always check off the website purchase conversion value. So this will tell you how expensive each purchase was, or add up, tally, like how much money did this ad really bring in sales wise, in comparison to the other metrics that we mentioned, like how much money you spent, or how much, how much time the ad has been live for, how many people actually clicked through the ad, things like that. So we want to compare and contrast all these different metrics to make sure everything is running healthy and smooth, right? So we want to know how much money is being brought in from each ad set. That's the conversion value. And then the last but not least, we have the website purchase ROAS, which stands for return on ad spend. So that's honestly the most important metric that you're going to want on your views, on your columns views. So we want to make sure that we are running positive or profitable ad sets, right? So we want to make sure that our ROAS is in that positive number. If you need to know what your ROAS is, just revert to the ROAS video where I break it down on how to calculate your ROAS for your product, and also when to know to cut an ad based off of the ROAS. So if your ROAS number is not meeting that break-even point, you're going to want to cut the ad. Basically, you're not going to want to let an unprofitable ad continue to run, right? So we want to make sure that our ads are profitable, and this is the metric that we use to tell whether or not that ad has brought in, a return on ad spend, basically. So we want to make sure we have all these views in line and ready to go. That way you can save them as a preset down here by clicking this box, saving it as the word ecom or whatever it is. It's going to make you remember that that's the view that you need to, have on your ads manager at all times when you're looking over your ad metrics. But this is the view we're going to use for the course moving forward, and throughout your e-commerce career. Basically, you're going to use all of those metrics to tell whether or not the videos are working, the ads are working, even if you use image ads, if they're working, and if the audience is actually good. So I hope this clears up for you how to manage your columns and how to manage your views. Let's get started on actually launching some ads in the next video.